ROUTEUSDT.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rational Investors Daily Brief. This is our free, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour. That's what it should be. Show just sort of summarize what we've seen happening here in the market today. Maybe a little bit of teaser too to see if we can encourage you to come on over and hang out in our after party. Where we sort of dig into more detail into stuff that we've talked about here in this free broadcast as well. We do have a regular bevy of guests on the show. Fridays, in fact, if you want to bookmark it, Fridays usually we have special guests and special presentations. Tuesdays, today is Pannenkoek Day. Woohoo! So pannenkoeks come direct from the center of the universe, Breda, Netherlands. I bet you didn't know that's where pannenkoeks were made. And as DMAC is there on the chat, as soon as I see his name, I am reminded to interrupt Sjord as much as I possibly can through his report, because that's exactly what DMAC wants me to do. Empty sack of rants. There you go. Merry Christmas. Anyway, so obviously we had a dramatic news event here this morning. If anything, a really good example of why you should probably stand on the sidelines when you have these key economic reports, because all hell can break loose. And I do believe that's what happened here this morning. So, and actually, Chris even showed me a really cool new website. Maybe we'll add it to the library. You know, we have a very extensive library. These are some of the news and econ sites, but I kind of like what Chris has shared here. I personally like to follow. You've probably seen me show you these guys. But also he showed me this website, and of course a big shill to sign up for their members broadcast. But they do have a kind of a cool sort of minute by minute breakdown of what's coming up econ wise. And as you can see, we had a major econ report come out here today, US CPI. It's kind of funny how the past couple of days I've been kind of going, well, there's no econ, so everything's pretty quiet, blah, blah, blah. And then we got an econ and boom, maybe it's almost like the market was building up energy for this report here today. But US inflation rate, the headline number came out at 3.2% in October, which I suppose is a good thing. I mean, we're finally sort of getting back to annual percentages that would be sustainable. You know, did the moneyed class, the 1%, the bankster crooks, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call them, the Joey Diamonds, did they the penetrating the you know what jerks in the World Economic Forum, have they pulled off their great reset here? Do we have one more big wave of inflation here before their great reset is done? I don't know. But you know, there's sort of their headline spiel is, hey, we're getting in front of this inflation problem that mysteriously popped up completely out of our control. Yeah, right. What a load of horse hockey. Anyway, so that's the theme of the day. What's interesting about this, though, and I wouldn't be surprised if you do hear from the central banksters say things like, you know, the headline, what sort of the public sees is a tamer number, 3.2% when we're looking for 3.3, and that's not really that big of a difference, but basically in line with expectations. What's going to really, you know, it has me a bit puzzled here, but I suppose month over month, the core inflation rate, this is, of course, what the Fedsters like to follow. It ticked down here But you notice that the annual core rate is just parked here at 4%. Now, that also was a tick down. So I suppose that's got the market pretty happy here. But that number just persistently sitting at 4%. That hasn't really moved a hell of a lot here in the past little while. So we'll see how it goes. Long and short of it here, market got a relatively friendly number. The only problem here, of course, is that if the stock market goes jumping up here, stock prices do make a big chunk of this inflation equation. So I also noticed the commodities prices all jumped up on that report. So you get, ironically enough, um, you know, I guess this might be sort of one of those scenarios. What's sort of good news for, well, I guess this would be like almost like not really bad news for Main Street, but kind of just like, yeah, everything's just sort of stuck here. I don't see huge movements. But this is being translated into sort of good news for Wall Street. Right out of the gate, we've been this past week or two, I've sort of taken it on in my trading plan. I would like to try and introduce this idea of trading liquidity pools, overnight liquidity pools, to the TRI community. There's this guy ICT Inter. I don't even know what his name is. We'll just call him ICT. Anyway, and lots of videos online. Hey, you can get rich. Just trade this one setup and you'll make tons and tons of money. And as you can see, we mapped out all the liquidity pools prior to that inflation number. Inflation number comes out and just blows right through all these levels. So I don't think there was really sort of any ICT kind of trade setups here today. And as well, full disclosure, Chris and I are trading away our opening range trade setup. And that would be off of this chart. Actually, this is a gold trade that I'm in right now, but that was this chart, and it produced a loser this morning. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. That's the way it goes. Following this setup, so just basically doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And if this setup gets blown out, then I just put away the combine and come back another day. So as you can see, we were hunting a short. Did sell some, got stopped out on that opening range trade fail. And, if anything, probably a good idea not to revenge trade too much. You can see I was trading sort of sim here through the morning. Cute little profit there. And actually, this is an interesting one because it sold it, then took profits, half profits at the 2.618. And I left my stop just at the original level and I got stopped out. So it turned out to be a total scratch trade. But you can see, like following that inflation report, it's not a bad idea that if you had a short setup and you were thinking about shorting, maybe cool your jets. And you can see that this market did move higher. Turns out that was just a scratch trade, so nothing really big there. I did notice that as the sort of morning persisted, and that is this image. We're getting a bit of a weakness coming back into the market. On top of, and this is probably a good commentary of that news page that I was just showing you. I don't know where the hell I put it though. I think it was off a different page. Off of this page, was it? No, not that one. That's a different page. And this is half my problem is I've got 40 million tabs open here at any given point in time. Off of this page, I think what's happening here now is we had that sort of relatively friendly econ come out, but then notice Fed speaker, US Red Book, Fed speaker, Jesus H. Christ. ECB, hey, it's substitute French teachers. Actually, I think she's a lawyer who's now running the ECB now. And French speaker. So we got just a ton of Fed speakers, and they're probably raining on the parade right now, going, well, we're still worried about inflation, and that core rate is still relatively high. So I was a little surprised to actually see a little bit of a M top came in there on the S&P 500. And like you see the monstrous move up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of bad backfilling here, but until we actually get a well-defined top, I think probably should be thinking higher rather than lower. It was kind of fun. You can see the M top that came in on gold here a little bit ago. And I think I just showed you that I've got a little gold short working right now. So we'll see how that goes. It's no big deal. There we are, up a whopping 38, 40 bucks. Woohoo, look at us. Stop against that original top, and first target's going to be 2.618 and 50% of this entire move, which is generally not a bad tool to use. If you're watching this for the first time, this was one of the first rules that I ever learned in trading was WD Gann's 50% rule. But also notice too, that's up against all this horizontal support and resistance. So support, support, support. And there's probably also a cute little price gap right in there. Yeah, you can see it. The gap, all these gaps should be filled in, whether it's today or tomorrow kind of idea, but they should be filled in. This is off a very low time frame. I don't really recommend anybody with half a brain in their head to be trading off of 1 minute. I'm just a trading junkie, so it is what it is. I certainly don't teach anybody who takes our education program to be trading off of these kind of time frames unless you're fairly advanced and you kind of know what you're doing and have your plan and you understand risk management and all that kind of fun stuff, because this kind of stuff can go against you really quickly. So just illustration, just so you can see what the hell it is I'm doing now, just fading the rally. Stock market itself, oh my goodness. I kind of thought that we were going to make some sort of inverted head and shoulders. That's been the message that I've been telling you guys recently, but and the market's kind of like, I don't give a fuck what you think, Brian. I'm going to do what I want to do. And look at me go. Woohoo. 4-hour chart, not a bad chart to work off of. I think I've told you this before too. Sometimes you'll actually get a situation where the left shoulder is fairly well defined. Actually, that's not what I want. Let's try and do that a little differently. So in this particular case, I'm kind of thinking, call me crazy. A lot of people do. I think I screwed this up again. Oh, darn it. Just give me a second. Let's get rid of that. Let's try it one more time. If I can't get it this time, I'm just going to give up. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I don't know, or neckline maybe. Then, oh no, I have screwed this up. Brian, you idiot. You know what? The point I was trying to make, but I'm not doing a very good job of it, was oh goodness, I can't get my head on straight here. I'm just gonna draw it up by hand. Screw it. So was this a shoulder? And this is the head? And is that the shoulder? And that's your neckline? Sometimes inverted head and shoulders actually do look like this. Really ugly as sin. I hate to say it, but buy when it snows, sell when it goes. I think I even heard on Halloween, it actually was snowing in some people's places. So I think I even put out like pictures of pumpkins buried in snow and stuff. So how ironic, right into that event. And of course, that was also through Cole's eclipse window, where basically the market topped out into the first eclipse and then bottomed out through the second eclipse. And we've literally just gone straight up since that eclipse event. Is that worth noting in your journals? I think so. So anyway, here's what it is. Interestingly enough, looking at the dashboard, been kind of talking about how the stock market is still working its buy, and it's right at sort of the midpoint. Believe it or not, if we actually tick up through the 50 line here, and maybe we can even have Sjord maybe put on like a yellow line or something through the 50 line, that might be kind of handy. That would actually be a very, very bullish event. So I don't know whether we can actually accept above the 50 line here. Point market is still pointing up, and if it's going to break down, it's going to break down. And then I have warned you, I won't show you in the public broadcast, but I have warned you guys all plenty that, especially like yesterday's reading, crypto is looking extremely overbought. And looking at crypto right now, it is looking a little bit toppy. So, if anything, what's the best way to show this? I think we'll probably just finish off this broadcast with a quick boo at the corn. Weekly charts, are we working our way up? We have hit 38.2s. We have hit the original market structure fail level here off of this top. Next sort of bullish upside objectives off the weekly charts. This consolidation, this is technically a W. So that paints 2.618 chaos levels following the resolution of the W to the upside. Around 42, 50% level, WD GAN, kind of like that gold trade. This is exactly the same logic, 50% of this move. That would be your price objective. This is exactly the same logic as this 50% of this entire bear slide. And that's the beautiful part about technical analysis. The universe is a fractal, so it doesn't really matter what time frame you're operating off of. All of the concepts are universal, going both directions. So 2.618 Fuggenbaums. We also have this sort of A to B consolidation, then C to D. Sort of harmonic pattern is also painting an objective up here. So I think ultimately it looks like crypto wants to work its way up here. The problem is that we're just so far away from moving average support. We're far away from previous market structure breakouts. Could we spend a month or so just sort of cleaning things up here? And 38.2 first stop targets is actually sitting right here at these moving averages that were major support, major resistance. Can they act as major support again? I think so. So it'll be interesting to see how this week progresses. Technically, that is an inside bar that is developing right now. And if we finish the week right here, then open up next week and trade through that low, then it means we're probably going to do some backfilling. Ironically enough, as long as we don't go through 25,000 to the downside, this upside objective will stay put. It'll just sit there. The ABCD objective, it will stay there. It won't go anywhere. And of course, 50% level of the entire range, that won't change. So the way that I'm looking at this is, yeah, looks like the market's still pointing up. It's just, did we maybe get a little too far, a little too fast? For the lower time frame participants, I have been sort of walking you through this bullish bot setup that's been working away. And on this M that came in here, according to the bot setup, we teach this in the level 1 program. It was the setup that I exclusively used the last time I was a prop trader a million years ago. And 66% of the anticipated C to D leg, I can have official permission to start locking in profits. And if I don't have any bearish market structure, then I'm just going to use the 3 high-low method to trail stops. But if I actually start getting bearish market structure, what is bearish market structure? The easiest way to think of that is if you ever see the market smiling at you, get ready. It wants to take your money. So that's, classic bearish market structure in there. And you can see up, down, up, uh-oh. So based on that event, I just hopped off this little sim trade, that demonstration trade I did for all of you guys. So I bought there at 34,680 according to the bot, and we let it go on that M top there, 36.67. So as it stands right now from a trading perspective, I just want to leave the corn alone for now. And then, for those people that are site members, part of the program, what the breadth looks like. It looks extremely dangerous here right now. I showed you the histogram for all the altcoins. It's not necessarily like it's a bear market. In fact, actually, I think we're probably on the cusp of another huge bull market. It's just, did we maybe go a little too far, a little too fast? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Just a healthy cleanup, bring us back down into those weekly moving averages, into weekly trend lines, 38.2s, just like 38.2 was tagged to the upside here. There's no reason why we can't do a 38.2 back to the downside. It's a risky market here. That's definitely the way that I'm going to describe this market state. So I've said repeatedly to public broadcasts, no way in hell I could come in and invest in crypto and Bitcoin right there in particular. There are some fun names out there. Don't get me wrong. I was barking about OMG there a week or two ago, and look at what that damn thing has done here. So if you can find names that are putting in these W's, rock and roll, have some fun with this. And as I said, we've got Sjord. Today is Tuesday, and Pennacook Tuesday, I think it's officially called. And you can see Mr. Pennacook, all his names are green on the day when the rest of the market is kind of meh. Actually, it looks like it's firming up a bit here, so that's not so bad. But here's a really good example. You hear me talk about Stoned Ape there on the YouTube channel if you watch him. I mean, look at this is the name that he suggested that he liked. It was a beautiful trade. But can you come in and invest and buy a name that looks like that right now? I don't think so. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, if it's your money, you do it whatever the hell you want with it. But here's a good example of one that I did recently buy. Can I come in and actually start accumulating on these W's here right now? Sure, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, they always say there's always a bull somewhere. It's just really a question of are we in trade location where you could actually justify actually stepping in on the long side and buying? I think a lot of crypto names right now, no. The answer is just an unequivocal no. Even on Sjord's awesome names. If anything, I was kind of encouraging him. Should we be ringing the register? Take a little bit of profits in here, maybe. You come on the after party show, you can see exactly where Brian would get all excited. And kind of like I said with the OMG, I mean, Jesus, these levels were ridiculous. Caveat emptor. Be careful. And, if anything, everybody should look at that image, and there should be two words, and we'll probably leave the free rant at that for the day. But who can tell me what are the two words when you look at a chart like this? What should be screaming in your brain? You see where the W is. You see where we are now. Thank you very much, Snowboarding JJ, and thank you very much, Josh. Excellent answers. As long as you can prevent yourself from chasing, because this is what most of the public does, and of course, remember, public always buys the tops of the markets. So just prevent yourself from doing that. And if you did want to buy this thing, well, this is what we teach in our education program. Nice handy little tool, 61.8 to 78.6, and good old Brian's reload zone and his favorite fib and all that kind of talk. Ironically enough, you can actually see that there's Brian's favorite fib. If I wanted to buy, might as well just throw my buy order right down here where the original bottom is. And it's just that simple, folks. But you got to teach yourself, for God's sakes, don't chase. Anyway, I noticed Zug's name. Look at Zug. I mean, God, you've heard me barking about this thing for weeks now. Hell, we even had Zug's dad on the call here talking to us a little bit about his industry expert. He happened to be an expert in his particular field. And I even said to him while he was on the call, you should listen to your son and go and buy some of his ideas and look at what they're doing now. But can I come in on the buy side now on this thing? I think you missed the boat. So anyway. All right. I think I'm going to leave the rant at that for the public here today. We do have, is he here yet? There he is. Sjord, you ready to rock this thing?
Almost.
Almost. All right. Well, that by time I hang up here, and then we get Chris to load up the after party, hopefully Stuart will be ready for us. So I think I'm just going to give you that short report for today. I mean, as we said, huge boom here in the market. Did strap out a little short on that gold. We'll see how it goes. No big deal. Can't chase. No way in hell I can buy this. But, we do have our Stock Pickers Club meeting tonight, and there are a couple names that actually I'm very, very interested in the stock market. Check out this one. Look at this. This is hilarious. This is for all you stock pickers. This is a great name. These guys are in the lighting business, and I think they do like LEDs and stuff like that, electronic equipment and parts. Pretty looking chart, eh? Nice little W there. Is this a weekly W that's coming in? Look at these numbers. 46% of the company owned by insiders. Gotta love that. And look at the average annual or analyst recommendation. This thing has it one is a buy and 5 is a sell. So what do you think? Do the average analyst kind of like this company? Holy crap. And I thought this was hilarious. Look at the sales quarter over quarter. Okay, that's a little bit ridiculous. 200,000% increase. So, obviously they've been doing a little bit of sales ramping here. And an interesting looking price chart. And that's a good example of a stock that I'm interested in. Here's another one. This is a semiconductor company that I'm interested in. So we're going to have our stock pickers club tonight, but hopefully you can see the big weekly W's come right back against trendline support. So this is a semiconductor name. So there are a bunch of stocks that I'm interested in here too. But I suppose we'll have our stock pickers club meeting tonight, and if they have any earth-shattering ideas, David, our stock picker club aficionado, he actually strapped on a spread trade on this 3D printing. I love the 3D printing business right now. I don't know whether I've missed this trade, but it looks like it's performing nicely here. So, there are stock ideas out there. There's also another great stock idea, but holy shit, look at it. It's taken off now. So Zach was touting this bull call spread on this Key Corp, and it looks like it's starting to rock and roll here now too. So there's lots going on in the stock market. If I do have any great ideas coming out of the Stock Pickers Club, and all you school alum, if you want to, you are welcome to participate in the SOF Club meeting. That is this evening. So maybe if we have some great stock ideas, I'll tell you about them tomorrow. So, okay, I think I'm going to leave the rant at that. Let's head on over and have some Pentacooks. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins race. Remember what your number one job is. Don't take no win nickels. The only thing that price is. Bye for now.